Yoga Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskar Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nasta Prayeshu Vabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter number 31, entitled Narada Instructs the Prachetas, text number 16. Etat padam tad jagad atmana param. Etat padam taj jagad atmana param. Sakrit vibatam savituryata prabha. Sakrit vibatam savituryata prabha. Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo. Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo. Dravya kriya jnana bida brahmatyaya. Dravya kriya jnana bida brahmatyaya. Etat padam taj jagad atmana param. Sakrit vibatam savituryata prabha. Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo. Dravya kriya jnana bida brahmatyaya. Padam taj jagad atmana param. Sakrit vibatam savituryata prabha. Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo. Dravya kriya jnana bida brahmatyaya.
Etat padam taj jagadatmana padam. Sakrit vibhatam savituryata prabha. Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo. Dravya kriya jnana bida brahmatyaya.
Etat padam tad jagad atmana param. Sakrit vibhatam savituryata prabha. Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo. Dravya kriya jnana vida brahmatyaya.
Malajis.
Etat padam tad jagatmana param. Sakrit vibhatam savituryatha prabha.
Sakrit Vibhatam Savitur Yatha Prabha
Yatha Savo Jagriti Shukta Shaktayo
Yatha Savo Jagrati Sukta Shaktayo
Dravya Kriya Jnana Vida Brahmadyayaha
Dravya Kriya Jnana Brahmadhyaya
एतत् पदं तज्जगत् आत्मनः परम्
Etatpadam Tatsagatmatmana Param
सकृतिभातं सविदुर् यथा प्रभा
Sakrit Vibhatam Savitur Yatha Prabha
यथा स्वजागृति सुप्त सत्ययो
Yatha Savo Jagrati Sukta Shaktayo
द्रव्याक्रिया ज्ञाना विदा प्रमत्यया
Dravya Kriya Jnana Vida Brahmadhyaya
Etat,
Etat,
this cosmic manifestation,
this cosmic manifestation,
Padam, place of habitation,
place of habitation,
Tat,
Tat,
that,
Jagat,
Jagat Atmana,
Jagat-atmana,
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Param,
Param,
transcendental,
transcendental,
Sakrit,
Sakrit,
sometimes, Vibhatam,
Vibhatam,
manifested,
manifested,
Savita,
Savita,
of the sun,
of the sun,
Yata,
Yata,
as, Prabha,
Prabha,
sunshine,
sunshine,
Yata,
Yata,
as, Asava,
Asava,
the senses,
the senses,
Jagrati,
Jagrati,
become manifest,
become manifest,
Supta,
Supta,
inactive,
inactive,
Shaktaya,
Shaktaya,
energies,
energies,
Dravya,
Dravya,
physical elements,
physical elements,
Kriya,
Kriya,
activities,
activities,
Jnana,
Jnana,
knowledge,
knowledge,
Vida Brahma,
Vida Brahma,
differences from misunderstanding,
differences from misunderstanding,
Adhyaya,
Adhyaya,
passing away.
passing away.
Translation. Just as the sunshine is non-different from the sun, the cosmic manifestation is also non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality is therefore all-pervasive within this material creation. When the senses are active, they appear to be part and parcel of the body. But when the body is asleep, their activities are unmanifest. Similarly, the whole cosmic creation appears different and yet non-different from the Supreme Person. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This confirms the philosophy of Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva, simultaneously one and different, propounded by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is simultaneously different and non-different from this cosmic manifestation. In a previous verse, it has been explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like the root of a tree, is the original cause of everything. It was also explained how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is all-pervasive. He is present within everything in this material manifestation. Since the energy of the Supreme Lord is not different from Him, this material cosmic manifestation is also non-different from Him, although it appears different. The sunshine is not different from the sun itself, but it is simultaneously also different. One may be in the sunshine, but he is not on the sun itself. Those who live in this material world are living on the bodily rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But they cannot see him personally in the material condition. There's a few other paragraphs in the purport. We'll go through them one paragraph at a time because there's a lot of points to be explained. Alright, so Narada Muni has given us examples already, and here also more examples. We started off with the example about how the personality of Godhead is the root of the whole creation. We would say Mula Prakriti. There was one Mataji called Mula Prakriti. She was a famous book distributor. Distributed many books. And she wrote a book also. She compiled a book. Did you ever see that book?
Yes.
She compiled different...
She was a Prabhupada friend to all.
Yeah, different people talking about Prabhupada. Different devotees. God brothers and different people from different walks of life who had interactions with Prabhupada. And anyway, Lord Krishna is the root of the whole creation. And at the same time, Narada Muni gave the example about how the stomach is also the main part in the body because the stomach gives the energy to all the parts of the body. So we had those two examples. And then we had the example about how water comes from the sun and then at the same time goes back to the sun at the end. And then the other example was about living entities. We come from dust and we go back, we come from the earth and we go back in the form of dust back to the earth. And so those examples were given, all in relation, comparing the Supreme Lord to the material world and to the living entities. So here also we have another example which is given here in this verse. And this verse is describing how the Lord He's one with the whole creation is one with the Lord and at the same time different from the Lord. In particular, it's talking about the sun, the sunshine, the sun and the sunshine. Oh, that was the example, that the sun and the sunshine are non-different. So he gives, Prabhupada, or Narada Muni gives this example, the sun and the sunshine. And then he says, in the same way, the personality of Godhead is not different from the cosmic manifestation. So the sun and the sunshine are one, but at the same time they're different. Just like we say, oh, the sun is out. I'm in the sun. I'm out in the sun. We say, I'm going in the sun today. But we never actually go in the sun. We go in the sunshine. So we consider the sun and the sunshine to be one and the same thing, but they're one, but at the same time different. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this philosophy, distinct from the other Vaishnava philosophies. He's saying that this is achintya, inconceivable oneness and also difference. That is inconceivable, how everything is one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and at the same time we're different. We're one in the sense that we are also Brahman. The Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Brahman. We are also Brahman, but we're different. Difference is that we are tiny sparks, whereas He is the Supreme. He is the Para-Brahman. He's never illusioned. We are illusioned. We fall into Maya. He never falls into Maya. But at the same time, there's a oneness, that we're all spiritual energy. So in that sense, there's a oneness, but at the same time different. So here, Prabhupada is explaining to us in this purport how everything is, how there's a oneness, but at the same time different. And he says, he quotes the previous verse, how Lord Krishna was the root of the entire creation. And then he also says, it was explained how the personality of Godhead is all-pervasive. Of course, as a super soul, he's all-pervasive. He's present everywhere, in everything. Even in every atom he's present. He's everywhere. But at the same time, he is an individual and he has his own abode. And he's separate from everything. So the energy of the Supreme Lord is not different from him. We each have our own energy. We have our own energies, we do different activities. The Lord also has his energy, and that energy is not different from him, although it appears different. So then Prabhupada talks about the sun and the sunshine again, that they are one, but at the same time also different. So those who live in this material world are living on the bodily rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We heard that yesterday, that everything is coming from the Brahman. Everything is actually Brahman. It's all coming, the whole cosmic manifestation comes about from the Brahman. So everything is, and that Brahman is coming from the rays of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that sense, everything is one. So impersonalists, of course, they would like this verse. You know, it's very easy for them to put their impersonal philosophy into it. We had this one lady, she was a devotee, but she was pointing out all the impersonal quotes which are there. Everything was impersonal. And she was actually a devotee of Sai Baba also. but she's a nice devotee at the same time, but she likes the impersonal philosophy, you know. And she had all the quotes from Prabhupada's books to support impersonalism. And you can see here also, you know, a lot of impersonal tendencies could easily be, impersonal interpretations could be easily put into this verse. So, the rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are the source of the material world, but we cannot see how the Personality of Godhead is doing that. The Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna also says like that everything rests on him, like pearls are on a thread. So the pearls are on a thread, you don't see the thread, but in order to hold the beads together, there has to be some thread. And similarly in this cosmic manifestation, in order to hold the cosmic manifestation in place, the Lord has to be there. And he does it through his transcendental potencies, right? He has many different potencies. Parashya Shakti Vividaiva Shruyate. The Lord has many diverse potencies, Shaktis, by which he performs all of these things. Jnana, Kriya, Bala, these are all different potencies of the Lord. So then Prabhupada's purport continues, in this verse, the word padam indicates the place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides. As confirmed in Ishopanishad, Isavashyam idam sarvam. The proprietor of a house may live in one room of the house, but the entire house belongs to him. A king may live in one room in Buckingham Palace, but the entire palace is considered his property. It is not necessary for the king to live in every room of that palace for it to be his. He may be physically absent from the room, but still the entire palace is understood to be his royal domicile. Prabhupada quotes Buckingham Palace. Interesting. That, of course, that's the residence of the Queen or the King of England, the Buckingham Palace. So, Prabhupada is explaining to us how the Lord has his own abode, because the word padam was there, and that meant that the residence of the personality of Godhead. The Lord is a person, and just like you and I, we have our residence, the Lord also has his residence. And although he's in everywhere and everything by his energies, he is also separate from it, and he's residing in his own abode. So he has his own place in Goloka Vrindavan. He has his place in the spiritual world. So Prabhupada quotes Ishopanishad, Isavashyamidam sarvam. Everything animate and inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. So the Lord is the proprietor. Narada Muni, remember, he was talking how the Lord is the maintainer. He's doing everything. So here also, he's the proprietor. It's the job of the proprietor to maintain things. And Prabhupada gives the example that man may have a big building. He will only live in one room, but the whole building is all his building. He can only live in one room himself. He cannot expand himself like Krishna. Lord Krishna, of course, he can expand himself into each and every room. But an ordinary man who may be the proprietor, he will live in one room. And he may not even live in the building, but still he's the proprietor, it belongs to him. And so in this way we have to understand how the entire creation is the property of the Supreme Lord. He doesn't have to be physically present here within the universe in order to be the proprietor. But he can be if he wants. Prabhupada continues, the sunshine is light, the globe itself is light, and the sun god is also light. However, the sunshine is not identical with the sun god, Vivishwan. This is the meaning of simultaneously one and different, achintya beda beda tattva. All the planets rest on the sunshine, but because of the heat of the sun, they all revolve in their orbits. On each and every planet, the trees and plants grow and change colors due to the sunshine. Being the rays of the sunshine is non-different from the sun. Similarly, all the planets resting on the sunshine are different from the sun. The entire material world is completely dependent on the sun, being produced by the sun, and the cause, the sun, is inherent in the effects. Similarly, Krishna is the cause of all causes, and the effects are permeated by the original cause. The entire cosmic manifestation should be understood as the expanded energy of the Supreme Lord. So Srila Prabhupada is comparing the sun, how within the universe all the planets depend on the sun. Just like this planet, we require sun. In the course of the day, as the planets revolve around the universe, we have to get sunlight. If without sunlight, then you're simply in darkness. In the lower region of the universe, there are planets in the lower region, the hellish planets, they're all dark. And the inhabitants there, they have jewels by which to light up everything. But you could imagine it's not very pleasant to just be to be in the dark all the time and just have some jewels which are lighting up everything. But that's how it is in the lower region of the universe. The inhabitants there, they don't have sunlight. The sun doesn't penetrate below Bhumandala. So we're fortunate that on this Bhumandala, higher planets in the universe, we get sunlight. And by the effects of the sun, then the plants grow. You know, if Tulsi doesn't get sunshine, she cannot grow very well. The different plants and the trees and so on, they need sunlight. And some people consider the sun to be the actual cause of the creation, and they worship the sun. There are some philosophers and there's of course also Panchapasami, the system of worshipping 5 gods. And one of the gods they worship is Surya Bhagavan, Vivishwan, the sun god. Because the sun is so important for maintaining the life in the planet, within the universe. Without sunlight, then it's very difficult to do things. If it's always dark, then you're always afraid, you're always fearful, who's coming, what. There's no security. As soon as the sun comes up and the daylight is there, then there's no more fear. But at night, people are, of course, there'll be a lot of fear moving around. So the sunlight is very important, not only for that sense of taking away the fear, but also providing the heat and the warmth which we need. That's required for doing things like drying clothes and so on. You should have sunlight. Without sunlight, then we depend on electricity. Where does electricity come from? Again, it comes from the energy of the Lord. Some transformation of energy. You have to produce electricity. You have to burn the oil or some kind of fuel to get the heat, to produce electricity. In some parts of the world, they have solar panels. It's quite common to use solar panels to collect the heat and the light which is coming from the rays of the sun, and they store it in solar panels, and then those solar panels feed the power to the electric supply. This is one of the technologies which they're using these days in parts of the world where they have a lot of sun. And then of course you have wind power. You have countries like England, the UK, they have a lot of wind, so they have windmills, and the windmills also help to generate some electricity. So it's all coming from the energy of the Supreme Lord. everything is coming from them. The sun planet is described as being the eye of the universe. In the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma describes Yakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahana Raja Samasta Suramurti Ashish. The sun planet is described that it is moving, rotating in the universe, and it's mounting the wheel of time, Kala Chakra. The Kala Chakra, the wheel of time. The sun planet is revolving, rotating, mounting the wheel of time, and it's doing so. Lord Brahma describes the sun planet is moving under the order of the Supreme Lord Govinda. But not everybody is aware that there's a person called Govinda behind the cosmic manifestation, because he's hidden to the ordinary people. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I am never manifest to the foolish and the unintelligent. For them I am covered by my Yoga Maya potency. So by the potency of Yoga Maya, the Lord covers up himself. He only reveals himself to those who are devotees. And those devotees are described by Lord Brahma, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. That those devotees who've got prema, who've got love of God, then they can see Krishna Shamsundar. They can see him within the hearts of everyone. So there's a qualification to see Govinda, to see the Lord. And that qualification, you have to have love. We have to have that attraction for him. And that attraction is cultivated through devotional service. When we engage in devotional service, we're gradually cultivating our love for Krishna. Prabhupada would explain, love means service. If you love someone, you will serve them. And so we worship the deities, we offer our service to the deities. Offering arti, dressing the deities, making nice dresses for them, making ornaments for them, many different things. We just had Chandan Yatra last month. Devotees were grinding the sandalwood, covering the body of the deity with sandalwood. Because it's so hot that last month in India at that time, so we cover the deities with sandalwood. And so it's a labor of love, grinding sandalwood, you know, it takes time, it takes effort. But that is love, loving service, devotional service. We want to serve Krishna and we use our senses for the service of Krishna. So there's one more paragraph which talks about the senses. We'll just read that paragraph. It's mentioned, when one sleeps, the senses are inactive. But this does not mean that the senses are absent. When one is awakened, the senses become active again. Similarly, the cosmic creation is sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Buddhva Buddhva Praliyate. When the cosmic manifestation is dissolved, it is in a kind of sleeping condition, an inactive state. Whether the cosmic manifestation is active or inactive, the energy of the Supreme Lord is always existing. Thus the words appearance and disappearance apply only to the cosmic manifestation. So this final paragraph, Prabhupada is discussing about Narada Muni's example, how the senses are inactive when a person is sleeping. But as soon as he wakes up, then again the senses become active. We start to use the senses. And Narada Muni compares this to the cosmic manifestation. That in the course of the cosmic manifestation, there is creation and there is dissolution. There's a day of Brahma and there's a night of Brahma. During the day of Brahma, everything is in order. The night of Brahma, there's a temporary annihilation. The lower regions of the universe are all unmanifested. But then again the day comes. Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita, Budva Budva Praliyate. Again and again the day comes, and again the night falls. You know, just like now is the daytime, night will come, and again the next day. This is the nature of the material existence. Due to the influence of the sun, we're experiencing day and night. So, during the night, we hope we can take rest and the senses become inactive. But again, as the sun rises, we say, Udilo Aruna Pura Babaji. There's a nice song about the sun is rising, it's time to get up. Udila Aruna Pura Babaji. Dvijamani Gora Amani Jagi. Right? Get up and start to chant the holy name. Now the sun is rising, it's time to get up and chant Makunda Madhava Yadava Hari. Chant the names of the Lord. So this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes how we receive the morning as the day begins. We want to begin the day chanting the names of the Lord, remembering Him. So the senses become active. In the same way, the cosmic manifestation, creation begins again. The day comes, and the day of Brahma begins again. And then, of course, even Brahma's life is over, there will be a total annihilation of the material creation. But again, there will be creation. And again, another Brahma will come. And again, the whole cosmic manifestation will take place. It's all one breath of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is laying on the causal ocean, and from his pores, the universes are coming out. And that is one breath of Mahavishnu. In one breath of Mahavishnu, the whole life of Brahma is there, in just simply one breath. And when he inhales, everything comes in. But Prabhupada makes the point that the cosmic manifestation, the energy of the Lord, is eternal. And sometimes it's manifest, sometimes it's unmanifest, but it's always existing. Just like this building. This building was built about 100 years ago, I'm told. And so now it's manifest. In course of time, it will be, nothing. It will become again, it will all be broken down, Nowadays they don't build houses to last 100 years, actually. I was in, where was it? Well, in the Middle East they build a lot of apartments, and they're building villas and everything, but they build them to last 30 years. They figure 30 years is enough. They don't want to build to last any longer than that. And that's the way things are. In the past, build buildings like 100 years ago, they build them to last. But nowadays they're not doing that. All of these big skyscraper buildings they're putting up everywhere, they don't make them to last. 30 years maybe. That's as much as you get. And then they have to finish, useless. So there's creation, there's maintenance for some time, and then annihilation. So the point is the elements, the materials which are here, used in this building, they're eternal. Sometimes they're put together and sometimes they're separated. What have you got in the building? You've got bricks and stone, maybe some cement also, all these different things. They're all different elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. They're all different combinations of these elements of the material creation. And the material nature is eternal. Sometimes it's manifest, sometimes it's not, but they're eternal. They just take different forms. They're transformed, they undergo transformation, but the material nature is eternal. Just as a living entity, we are also, the spirit soul is eternal. The material body goes back, becomes dust. It came from the dust, came from the earth, and goes back to the earth again. But the Prakriti is still there. It's just undergoing some different changes, different transformations. So that is the nature of the Lord's energy, that it is taking different, transformed into different ways, different times. So that there's no, it's not like there's taking birth and then disappearing. It's always there. It's just, sometimes it's manifest, sometimes not. Just like within the universe, there's Dhruvaloka. Dhruva Maharaj resides on Dhruvaloka. And Dhruvaloka is a Vaikuntha planet. It's an eternal planet. Sometimes it's manifest. During the course of the life of Brahma, it's manifest. But when Brahma leaves, when Brahma gives up his body, then the whole universe is annihilated, but the Vaikuntha planet, which was within the universe, that just becomes unmanifest. It becomes avyakta for some time. And then when the creation begins again, then again it becomes manifest. So in this way we understand how you can have a Vaikuntha planet within the universe. So the material nature, Prakriti, is compared like that. Like the senses. The man's sleeping, senses are inactive, he wakes up, he starts to use his senses. So the material creation becomes inactive with the annihilation, and then again there's a creation. So in this way Narada Muni is explaining how we have to recognize everything is the energy of the Lord. It's the energy of the Supreme Lord. Narada Muni is giving all of these different examples to us to encourage the Prachetas and all of us that we have to worship the Supreme Lord and we have to respect everything as the property of the Lord and use it for His service. Isya Vasham Idam Sarvam, it's all His. It's meant for His service. And so Prabhupada gives the example. He said there may be 100 Swiss francs laying in the street. So one person, the karmi, sees it, he'll take the money and put it in his own pocket and use it for his own self. You know, what will he do with it? He'll go to McDonald's or something, or go to a bar or something, you know, do some nonsense with it. And the jnani, he sees the money and thinks, don't touch it. Because he's a jnani, you know. That's Maya. He thinks, no, I'm not going to touch that money. The money's laying in the road. But he doesn't want to touch it. He thinks, if I touch it, I'll get in Maya. I'm not going to touch it. Stay away from it. Leave it. So that's the jnani. They're fearful of the material energy. But the devotee sees the money and thinks, oh, Krishna's money. He'll bring the money, he'll put it in the donation box, right? Give it to Krishna. So that's different mode, different attitude. The devotee sees everything as Krishna's property. They want to use it for Krishna. In the material world, a man has a flower, he'll give a flower to his wife or to his girlfriend or whatever. And the devotee will bring the flower, they'll give them to Krishna. they'll give them to Jagannath and Gaurnitai. We understand everything is for their service, for their pleasure. So the light of the sun and the moon is all by the grace of the Supreme Lord. The light of the moon is the reflection of the sun, and the light of the sun is coming from the bodily effulgence of the personality of Godhead, from his spiritual abode. And everything is coming about, all life, everything is growing because of the presence of the sun and the moon. Because of the moon, it gives a taste in vegetables. If you don't get moonlight, the vegetables don't have any taste. And if you eat vegetables from China, they have no taste. Because they grow everything without the moonlight. They cover it all with big plastics, you know. They grow it in big plastic tents. So the vegetables have no taste. You have to get the rays, but we don't always appreciate all of these things. We're only made aware of them by the grace of the Vedic literature and the acharyas. They tell us how all of these things are taking place. By the grace of the Lord, it's all going on through his potency. So what can we see without the sunlight? Without the light of the sun, you can't see anything. So we have so much to thank the Lord for. You know, some foolish people, I blame God. Why he does this to me? I'm suffering so much. I have so many problems. God is not taking care of me. I think he forgot about me. And you know, people think like that. They don't see all the things which God is providing for us. How he's providing the light of the sun and the moon, the water, the air we breathe, everything is all his nature. He's arranged everything for our maintenance. We just have to just use it properly for his service. When we use everything properly, then we get very nice results. Everything comes very nicely, and you can see when you do things properly according to the scriptures, when we follow the teachings, we get very good results. Everything comes out very nicely, peaceful, happy. We can live in harmony, we can enjoy life. And when we go against the laws of God, then all the problems come. When we start to try to be independent and we want to dominate and control, we want to exploit the resources of the material nature, then all the problems come. Just like in America, they're cracking the ground to take the oil out from the earth, isn't it? They want oil so badly that they're taking up all the different farmland and they're using it to extract the oil out. They've got this technology to extract oil out. But it has terrible effects on the land, that for many, many years they cannot use the land to grow anything. It just destroys the nature. So because of the greed to get oil, and why do we want oil? We want to drive our motor cars and enjoy the material world. So we're doing so many things to damage the environment. We're not taking care of the environment. And more people are starting to realize these things, you know, like global warming. Why is there global warming? Because so many places they have air conditioners. They run air conditioners. Most of Asia, air-conditioned cities. People using these air conditioners to generate cold air so they can be in their rooms away from the heat outside. But the air conditioners generate so much heat into the atmosphere, and it causes the whole planet to heat up, and all the snowpack, the peaks in the mountains which used to be covered in snow, now they're all bare. There's no more snow in the peaks of the mountains. In so many parts of the world, I don't know about here in Switzerland, but in many places they found like that the snow peaks have all melted. Not only snow peaks are melting, the glaciers are melting also. The glaciers in the North and South Pole, they're all melting, and that's causing the sea level to rise. And when the sea level rises, then land, the coastal land is all lost. A lot of land is lost. In places like Hong Kong, they try to reclaim land. They don't have enough land, and they try to reclaim land, and they fill the ocean with rocks and so on, and earth, and then they build on it. And so they're trying to reclaim land, but at the same time they're losing land because they're heating the planet so much with all their air conditioners everywhere. There's so many problems in the world. And it's all coming about because of lack of God consciousness. As Prabhupada told in his different pandals in India before he departed from the world. The title of the pandal was, "There's only one scarcity in the world, God consciousness." If the world would become God conscious, then all the problems of the world would be solved. So we're trying to infiltrate the material society and educate them about the value of God consciousness. But it's a difficult job. Most people, they have no interest. I have no time. I have no time. No interest in this. They just simply want money for sense gratification. Their whole life is just centered around making money. I have to get money. I have to make as much money as I can, and then I can enjoy the material world. They do not know what enjoyment really is. They do not know what is real pleasure. They're thinking pleasure to fill the belly with some alcohol. And now in some parts of the world they've made marijuana legal. Have they done that here in Switzerland?
No.
Not in Switzerland. Well, in countries like in USA they've done it. Not everywhere, but different states like California, they made it legal, So in Thailand, also in Asia, Thailand, these kind of places, they made marijuana legal. So everywhere you have these marijuana shops, people are all, they're all smoking everywhere. They're thinking this is enjoyment, they're thinking this is happiness. They're saying, be peaceful, smoke more marijuana, They don't know what is real peace. It's the illusion. So we try to educate people what is the real value of life, how to use it properly. But it's a difficult task. But everything is difficult in the beginning. In China they say, 万事开头难. 万事 means 10,000 things are difficult in the beginning. So difficult in the beginning. But once people get a little taste, we have our tricks to bring people. We have prasadam, we have our secret weapons, right? Nice prasadam and kirtan also. People enjoy kirtan. In New York now, in New York State, there's a whole kirtan belt a whole area of New York State. They're doing kirtan everywhere. So many towns in New York State, everywhere they're having kirtan, bhajans, and you know, it's so popular. People love it. They like to do kirtan, not necessarily Hare Krishna, you know, not necessarily ISKCON, but you know, they like bhajan, they like kirtan. They're enjoying this. So this is definitely a good sign. And our kirtan melas, of course, are very popular. Radha Desh, they have kirtan mela, right? And we just did, the devotees in China just did kirtan mela in one city. They had a nice program. They were relishing the holy name. And they had one big program in Beijing. They sent me video clipping of it. It was a yoga program. Did they celebrate Yoga Day? They do that here. It's all over the world, you know. Narendra Modi, he instituted annual Yoga Day, and they all over the world, the different yoga places, and they have a big yoga program, and we get invited to it, and we go and we do the yoga kirtan, you know, the yoga music, and the yoga food, and the yoga books. Yeah. So we have to take advantage of all these different kind of events, you know. I think they're doing something on yoga in Geneva. Vaishnavi Maharaji was telling me something.
We're invited also.
Huh?
Yeah, we're also invited to do something.
Yeah. So, you know, we would like to go and get involved with all these different events and present Krishna consciousness. Go in like the needle, out like the plow. Yeah, we're yogis, yeah. We have our asanas, obeisances. Dandavats. Krishna Kshetra Maharaj wrote an article about that one time. When he was doing his studies at university, he wrote an article about different devotional activities, how they relate to yoga. Okay, any question? Any comment from the learned audience? Yes, Prabhu?
Maharaj, you mentioned that the Gyanis are afraid when they see a bill laying on the floor. They're afraid they don't touch it. And the devotees, they use it in Krishna service. But then also Prabhupada said, I have only one complaint about my disciples, and that is that they are not afraid enough of Maya.
Uh-huh.
So that sounds like a contradiction.
Well, we have to turn Maya into Krishna's service. If we know how to use things in Krishna's service, there's no problem. You know, Prabhupada definitely taught us to use money in the service of Krishna. Right? Prabhupada said, you know, I think it was Ramakrishna, there was a picture of him with money on the table, and he was like this, you know. He won't touch the money. But Prabhupada said below the table there was a lot of money. You know, on top of the table you say, oh, I won't touch the money. But Prabhupada said, Ramakrishna, they have so much money, I have it all under the table, you know. And Prabhupada said, give the money to me, I will count it and spend it all for Krishna. So, you know, they thought, oh, he's a real sadhu, he won't touch money. They think that's a real sadhu, oh, he won't touch money. But that is not our principle. We follow Rupa Goswami, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Ujjate. Real renunciation is in relation to Krishna. So our renunciation is to take that money and use it for Krishna. So that there's no need to fear something which can be used in Krishna's service. Prabhupada said our devotees are not afraid enough of Maya. Well, he saw some tendencies there among devotees, like when he went to the rock concert, they arranged Prabhupada to go, that big happening program which in San Francisco they had all the different groups and they had Prabhupada come there. And Prabhupada went in and he got them all to chant Hare Krishna. But he said afterwards, this is no place for a brahmachari. It's a big rock concert. But we go to rock concerts and we go to preach. We distribute a lot of books at rock concerts. We go into the rock concerts. We don't go to get into the music, but we go to get into the people and to give them books and give them Krishna consciousness. Yeah, we have to be careful. We have to be. We are afraid of Maya, but if we see that we can use it in Krishna's service, then we're not afraid. Then it's our duty to go there and do that, to use it in Krishna's service. We could just, I'm not going to go there, no, too much Maya. I'm not going to go out and distribute books, there's a lot of Maya out there. You could always say, we will never get any preaching done if all the time we're afraid of Maya. Maya's everywhere. If you want it to be there, if you see Maya, it's everywhere. You'll never go out and preach, we'll never distribute books, we'll never spread Krishna consciousness if we're just afraid of Maya all the time. But we have to see that this is an opportunity to use this in Krishna's service, to connect it to Krishna. That is glorious. To take the money and use it for Krishna. So, we try to do that. We don't want to be afraid of the Maya all the time. Yeah. You have to know your own strength. Some devotees, they don't want to go out. They don't want to take a risk. Oh no, it's too much Maya out there. I have to stay in the temple and chant. But Prabhupada said our temples are not for our eating and sleeping. They're a base for the army to go out and fight Maya. We're meant to go out and fight Maya. And accepting initiation in Krishna consciousness means you're taking a stand to fight Maya. Right? We get initiation to fight Maya, to help Prabhupada in his battle against the material energy. So it's important for us not to just be afraid of Maya, but to want to use that energy in Krishna's service, to convert the Maya into Krishna's mercy, into the divine energy, the spiritual energy. Just like the devotees, they were doing one program in a college, they put a notice up, come and see matter made into spirit. So people were, wow, that sounds interesting, we want to see that. How do you make matter into spirit? And so they went for the program, the devotees had an altar, and they brought a plate of, prasadam, and put it on the altar, and they offered it, and rang the bell, and now it's spirit, The prasadam, the food is all converted into prasadam. So everything is prasadam. If you use it for Krishna, we have to use the energy for Krishna. That is our business as devotees. Collecting all the money, all the money of all the rich people and using it for Krishna's service. Prabhupada writes about how the people of the rich men of the world, they should give half of their wealth for the Krishna consciousness movement and use it for the service of Krishna, to build nice temples to put on nice festivals, to print many books and distribute them for people. That is good use of money. We cannot just simply wait. You know, like the little birds when they're born, they're in the nest, they wait for the mother to come and feed them. You know, when is the mother bird going to come and bring worms for us to eat, you know? But the birds have to grow up and they have to flap their own wings and go and fly and get their own worms. So we have to also grow up, you know, we cannot just simply always be afraid of Maya. We have to go out and fight Maya. And of course, go with the devotees, you know, don't go alone, but go with the devotees. The danger comes when you try to go alone, but so long, if you go with the devotees, then it's better, it's much safer. Okay?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhakti Vrinda.
Bhakti Vinash Narasimha Swami.